Before love fades, vibration changes. Before distance grows, imagination weakens. Your marriage doesn't fall apart from what happens outside. It unravels from what you vibrate within. Every marriage, no matter how grand or simple, begins first in the imagination. It's not the vows that create love. It's the vibration behind them. The words you said that day carried energy, emotion, and belief. That vibration became the seed of your relationship. And from that day onward, every thought, every feeling, every image you hold about your partner becomes the silent architect of your marriage's destiny. What you imagine, you vibrate. What you vibrate, you attract. And what you attract, you eventually live. People often think love is sustained through effort, communication, and compromise. And while those things matter, they are only reflections of something deeper. Your energy. A fulfilling marriage doesn't depend on what you do. It depends on what you vibrate. When your imagination aligns with love, trust, and peace, your vibration becomes magnetic. It draws harmony into your home without struggle. But when your imagination drifts into fear, suspicion, or resentment, that vibration poisons everything it touches. The tone of your words, the energy in your presence, even the silence between you, it all begins to carry the frequency you've been imagining. The truth is, every moment you spend thinking about your marriage is a creative act. When you imagine your partner ignoring you, you begin to vibrate loneliness. When you imagine them loving you, you vibrate connection. And the universe, responding faithfully to vibration, delivers experiences that match your emotional broadcast. This is why some marriages slowly lose their spark. The imagination that once created love begins to picture separation. The mind that once dreamed of unity begins to dwell on disappointment. Without realizing it, both partners start vibrating the absence of what they once celebrated. Imagination is not fantasy. It's the blueprint of your emotional reality. You cannot vibrate love while imagining rejection. You cannot vibrate trust while picturing betrayal. The two cannot coexist. Your energy always follows your mental picture. The moment you choose a thought, your vibration takes shape around it. And when two people in a marriage hold opposing imaginations, one rooted in love, the other in fear, the relationship feels like two magnets trying to connect while facing the wrong direction. The attraction fades, not because love died, but because vibration shifted. You might be asking, how can I change my vibration? The answer is beautifully simple. Change what you imagine and feel about your partner. Instead of mentally replaying every painful word they've said, begin to visualize them with love, compassion, and kindness. See them smiling. Imagine the joy of connection as if it already exists. Feel that scene as real within you, because once you vibrate that energy consistently, the outer world begins to align with it. You are not waiting for them to change. You are becoming the vibration that invites their best self to appear. When you first fell in love, you were already doing this unconsciously. You imagined the best in them. You vibrated excitement, gratitude, and warmth. That's why everything flowed so effortlessly. You weren't forcing anything, you were in harmony. But over time, imagination shifted. You began to focus on flaws, disappointments, and doubts. And slowly the vibration that once brought you together began to repel you. The love didn't die. It simply lost alignment with the vibration that once created it. To bring it back, you must return to that creative state within. Your marriage will never rise higher than your vibration. Every word you speak, every gesture you make, every reaction you give, it all carries the frequency of your inner world. That's why two people can say the same words, but one heals and the other hurts. The vibration behind your words gives them their true power. When your vibration is high, filled with appreciation, forgiveness, and joy, your presence itself becomes healing. Your partner feels safe, valued, and drawn to you. But when your vibration is heavy with anger or pride, even silence feels cold. The key to a fulfilling marriage is not control, it's consciousness. You must become aware of what you're imagining every day. What movie are you playing in your mind? Is it filled with love or disappointment? Are you rehearsing arguments or visualizing harmony? The energy you repeatedly visit in imagination becomes the atmosphere of your relationship. You cannot expect peace while imagining chaos. You cannot expect connection while vibrating doubt. So every time your mind begins to wander toward negativity, gently bring it back. Replace the old story with a new vision. Feel it until your body vibrates with the joy of that image. Remember, vibration doesn't lie. You can say, "I love you" 1,000 times, but if your energy says otherwise, your partner will feel the gap. Likewise, even in silence, a heart full of love communicates louder than words. That's why true transformation begins inside, not in conversation. You don't need to demand change. You need to embody change. When your vibration becomes love, your partner will sense it instinctively. The energy between you will soften, and life will start to rearrange itself in your favor. If your marriage feels stuck, don't see it as the end. See it as feedback. The universe is showing you the vibration you've been broadcasting. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What energy am I sending out?" The moment you take responsibility for your vibration, you reclaim your creative power. You stop being a victim of circumstance and become the designer of your relationship's destiny. You realize that every conflict is an invitation to rise higher, to vibrate at a frequency where love can breathe again. There's a sacred power in consistency. You cannot raise your vibration one day and sink back into resentment the next. Your energy must match your desire continuously. When you hold the vibration of love long enough, the outer world must adjust. It's a universal law. What you vibrate becomes what you attract. So even if your partner seems distant, don't let your imagination agree with that story. Imagine connection. Imagine warmth. Imagine love as if it's already restored. The longer you hold that inner image, the faster your vibration solidifies it into reality. A fulfilling marriage is not about finding the perfect person. It's about vibrating in a way that brings out perfection in both of you. When your vibration is pure, you no longer focus on who's right or wrong. You begin to see your partner not as your opponent, but as your mirror. Every reaction they trigger in you shows you something about your own vibration. If you respond with fear, you lower your energy. If you respond with understanding, you raise it. The relationship becomes a classroom for the soul, where every challenge teaches you to master your energy and imagination. There will be moments when you forget this truth. You'll react, you'll get hurt, you'll feel disconnected, but that's okay. Growth is not about being perfect. It's about becoming aware. The instant you notice that your vibration has dropped, you can lift it again through conscious imagination. Close your eyes, take a breath, and feel the love that once brought you together. Revisit it until it feels real again. That single act of awareness can shift the entire energy of your relationship, because vibration doesn't change through effort. It changes through feeling. Your imagination is the steering wheel, and your vibration is the engine. Together, they decide where your marriage goes. When both are aligned with love, life feels effortless. When they are misaligned, you feel friction. The more you imagine lovingly, the higher your vibration climbs, and the easier it becomes to sustain happiness. Love doesn't fade. It gets buried under the noise of lower vibration. Your job is not to chase it, but to clear the emotional fog that hides it. So today, choose to vibrate what you imagine. If you want peace, imagine it until you feel it. If you want passion, see it in your mind, and let your body vibrate with that energy. Don't wait for circumstances to improve before you change your vibration. Change it now, and watch the circumstances follow. The universe always reflects the energy you radiate. The secret to a fulfilling marriage is simple but profound. Vibrate what you imagine. Imagine love deeply. Feel it genuinely. Live it daily. Your energy will transform your reality. You'll discover that you were never waiting for your partner to change. You were waiting for your vibration to rise high enough to see the love that was always there. When you learn to vibrate love consistently, even the smallest moments become sacred. Every look, every touch, every shared silence carries the warmth of your energy. Your marriage becomes more than a relationship. It becomes a living vibration of the love you've created within. So let your imagination be bold and your vibration be pure. See love, feel love, and vibrate love until your entire life becomes a reflection of it. Because in the end, the fulfillment of your marriage is not found in the world around you. It's found in the world within you. Everything in your marriage begins in the invisible world of imagination. Before a word is spoken or a moment is shared, your inner picture sets the tone for what unfolds. If you constantly imagine peace, joy, and connection, that energy quietly shapes your relationship's atmosphere. Your partner begins to feel your love, not because you say it, but because your imagination vibrates it. The more beautiful your inner vision, the stronger the emotional bond becomes. Every image you hold is like a seed planted in the soil of your marriage, and it must grow into form. So if you desire harmony, keep your imagination pure and your emotions aligned with what you wish to experience. Don't let negative thoughts take root. They only distort what love is trying to build. What you see within will one day appear without. That's the secret of creation. It all starts from the unseen world inside you. Words may express love, but vibration proves it. The energy behind your actions and tone behind your words speak louder than anything you could ever say. When your vibration carries kindness, your presence calms storms. When it carries frustration, even silence becomes heavy. Your partner may not always understand your words, but they will always feel your vibration. That's why it's essential to keep your energy soft, sincere, and open. A fulfilling marriage thrives when both souls can rest safely in each other's vibration. Your energy tells your spouse whether they are safe, valued, or loved. You don't need to force affection, you only need to embody it. Once your vibration radiates warmth, everything around you begins to heal. Energy is the unspoken language of every lasting love. Every emotion you carry is like a frequency being broadcast to the universe, and your marriage tunes into it. When you vibrate with gratitude, you attract appreciation in return. When you vibrate with fear or doubt, your partner unconsciously mirrors that energy. Relationships are built through emotional signals more than logic. You are always attracting what you emotionally send out, whether in joy or in pain. This is why awareness of your vibration is so powerful. You become the cause, not the effect. Love responds to love. Understanding responds to peace. The frequency you choose becomes the emotional environment your relationship lives in. If you want affection, vibrate affection. If you want respect, vibrate worthiness. The universe can only echo what you continuously broadcast from within. Your imagination is the movie that your marriage is constantly acting out. Every scene you rehearse in your mind becomes the emotional script your life follows. If you replay painful memories, you keep reliving them through your energy. But if you visualize love and connection, you invite those emotions back into your experience. The mind cannot tell the difference between imagination and reality. It vibrates according to what you feel most. That's why it's vital to imagine lovingly. Picture your partner smiling, see your relationship thriving, and hold that vision until your heart begins to believe it again. You are not denying reality. You are recreating it. The more vividly you imagine peace, the faster it materializes. You change your outer world by transforming the inner film you're playing every day. Your partner reflects not who they are, but what you believe about them. Every time you react with anger or disappointment, you are seeing your own vibration mirrored back to you. This realization changes everything, because it shifts your focus from blame to growth. When you recognize your partner as a mirror, you stop trying to fix them and start refining your own energy. Each disagreement becomes a lesson in emotional awareness. If they trigger frustration, ask yourself what vibration you've been holding. If they bring you joy, you're aligned with love. Relationships thrive when both partners use reflection instead of resistance. When you heal your vibration, your partner's response naturally transforms. The outer behavior changes because the inner frequency finally aligns. Transformation in marriage is not born from one grand gesture, but from consistent vibration. When you choose love daily, especially when it's hard, you create an energetic pattern that reshapes everything around you. Consistency trains your subconscious to live in harmony. Each time you return to peace instead of reacting, your energy becomes stronger. Over time, your marriage begins to vibrate at that same steady frequency. Real change doesn't come overnight. It grows in the silence of repetition. Love that is practiced in vibration becomes permanent in reality. Every day you hold the energy of appreciation. You rewrite your emotional story. The power of love lies in its persistence. It's not what you do occasionally. It's what you vibrate constantly that transforms your world. The fulfillment you seek in your marriage will never come from the outside world. It will always begin within you. When your imagination and vibration align with love, you no longer chase peace. You radiate it. You attract situations that match your inner calm. You notice your partner differently, speak differently, and even breathe differently. Everything softens because you have softened within. Fulfillment is not the result of perfection, but of alignment. When your inner energy reflects joy, your marriage mirrors it back in ways that feel miraculous. You realize that love was never missing. It was simply waiting for your vibration to rise high enough to meet it. The moment your inner world harmonizes with your vision of love, your outer world becomes a living reflection of that vibration.